Aloha. This is video number 3 in an ongoing series of videos in which I am attempting to explain all that seems to be. Teaching to myself. You're going to have to forgive me if I use the word you. Please understand that I know that I'm only talking to myself, and when I say you, I'm talking the generic you, which includes me. You is me, and only one of us. You is me. And so in teaching this teaching and learning this teaching, I have to learn that this teaching is only applying to me. It's about me. There is only me. There's only you. There's only one of us. Outside of you, there is nothing. I want to talk about the idea of victim mentality. In this teaching, there can be no victim mentality. In the first 2 videos, we established the idea that this is a dream. You're experiencing the dream. It must be your dream. You are the dreamer of this world of dreams that has no other cause. You wrote the script. Everything that seems to happen, everything you experience, you asked for and you received as per your request. All power in heaven and earth is given unto you because it's your dream. Talking about the power of your mind to manifest whatever it is you want. Whatever it is that seems to be happening. You asked for. You manifested. You're experiencing the results of your mind. It is impossible that you can be unfairly treated. It is impossible that anything can happen to you without your own consent. It's your dream. You are the dreamer of the dream. So we're talking about the power of your mind. It's a simple teaching. The teaching is simple. You're experiencing the results of your mind. That's it. You are doing this unto yourself, the secret of salvation. It's a simple teaching. The thing that is complicated is your mind. You are always getting what you want. Always. And even if you think it was something that you didn't want, it's still because you wanted it. How could this be? This is where a lot of people will take this teaching and say, no way, this can't be true. Terrible things have happened to me. How can it be that I wanted that? So now we have to talk about the complexity of the mind that is driven mad by guilt. In the first couple of videos, I talked about how guilt is inherent in the human condition. And guilt is a request for suffering. Guilt is another name for karma. Sometimes it seems that bad things happen to us. Sometimes it seems that suffering comes to us. And we can't imagine how could I have asked for that? Why would I have asked for that? But let's just play around with a scenario. Let's suppose that somewhere along the way you did something to cause suffering to another. You did something that you judged as being not a good thing. And you are the only one that would judge yourself. There is nobody outside of you judging you. But you made that judgment and you feel bad about it and you're carrying around some guilt. That guilt is psychological baggage. That guilt is part of the psychological baggage that makes up the bushel that covers up your light. You are the light of the world. Now the teaching says, what would you not accept if you but knew that all things that happen are carefully planned by ones whose only purpose is your good? Interesting idea. What would you not accept if you knew that everything that happens is carefully planned by one whose only purpose is your good? And here something terrible seems to have happened to me. How can that be? And here the teaching says that everything that happens, everything I experience, is because I wanted it. I always get what I want, whether I think I wanted it or not. You see the complexity here? Let's see if I can try and cut through this for my own mind, because terrible things have happened to me. Let's go back to that idea that, okay, I feel guilty about something. That guilt is what karma is. And that guilt is baggage. It's psychological baggage that is holding me back, that's covering up my light. And I need to get rid of it. It does me no good to carry around that guilt, carry around that baggage. There are two ways to get rid of that guilt. One way is to pay the price. Okay, I've judged that I've done something bad, and therefore I need to pay that debt, that karmic debt. I need to suffer. That's one way to get rid of the baggage. If I've decided that I need to spend 40 years in the salt mines, and there's no other way to get rid of that baggage, then this terrible thing happens to me, and I pay the debt, and I'm free of the baggage, I'm free of that karmic debt, and now I can move forward. And so by going through that suffering, accepting it without resistance, I've cleared that baggage. I've cleared something major off of my karmic slate. It was for my good. It was my decision. It was by my consent. It was for my good to go through that suffering. And strangely enough, they've done studies where they have found that people who have gone through adversity almost always tell you that that adversity served them well. It was a good thing in the final analysis. There was a study done at Harvard University. I remember seeing a video on Netflix. And they were talking to a man that had spent 8 years in solitary confinement as a prisoner of war in Vietnam. And they asked him, if you could live your life over again, would you want to avoid having to go through that experience, that 8 years as a prisoner in Vietnam? He said no. He said no. He said that experience, that adversity, made him who he is today. And he is very happy with who he is today. So, okay, I suffer. And the suffering is my decision, planned by me, experienced as per my request, by my consent. I was not a victim. It was all me. There was another way. There is another way to clear that karmic slate. There is another way to get rid of that psychological baggage called guilt that is much faster and much easier. In many cases, I couldn't do it. And so I opted for the suffering because for me there was no other way. The other way is forgiveness. Like I say, there were cases where I couldn't forgive myself. And so I opted for the suffering. We all do. In certain instances, that's what we do. That's how we clear the karmic slate. That's how we get rid of that psychological baggage. We opt for the suffering. But the easier way, the faster way, the recommended way is forgiveness. Get off your case. Forgiveness is a recognition. If forgiveness is real, it's a recognition that it's only a dream. No harm was caused. Nothing real can be threatened. And you judge yourself harshly over nothing. The past is gone. Let it go. Forgive it and let it go. You can drop the psychological baggage that way. You can't make it real and then forgive it. You have to see that it's not real. It didn't happen. You owe nothing. You are an innocent, guiltless, holy child of God. That recognition will free you of that psychological baggage, will free you of that guilt without you having to pay the price of suffering. So from this video number 3, take that as a reminder that you are as God created you. You are the guiltless, holy Son of God. Forgive yourself. It was but a dream. There is no need for you to suffer.